I lost about 9 employees inside of a 2.5-month period. It was really, really bad. Welcome back to the GSD Show, and in this GSD Bite episode, we're going to be telling you how to get more, in fact, the most, out of every employee. I mean, people were happy, nobody was quitting, nobody was on the verge of getting fired, people were getting raises, people were getting promotions, our company was breaking records. Gym owners and fitness entrepreneurs, are you doing all you can to manage leads, improve retention, and build meaningful relationships with your clients? If not, UpLaunch can help. Built by gym owners for gym owners, they've proven battle-tested software and marketing campaigns that will save you time and increase revenue so you can focus on the important things in life. Find out whether CRM is trusted by gym owners worldwide. Schedule a free demo at useuplaunch.com today. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the GSD Show, and this is actually a very, very favorite topic of mine because it was one of the things that helped my business transform more than anything else. If you're like me and most other entrepreneurs or small business owners, you are probably a higher dominant personality type A, or if you use a DISC assessment, you're a high D and a high I or high C as well. If you use other assessments, you're probably a red, but overall, what we're saying is we learn to become a little less patient, and we also learn to cut right to the point sometimes. And although that's more efficient, especially when we're talking to each other, it sometimes can rub employees the wrong way, give them the wrong idea, and actually hurt their efficiency and their productivity, and we don't even realize it. In fact, we believe that they'd be more productive if they just communicated like us, and they feel like they'd be more productive if we just communicated more like them. And the answer is, it's a hybrid. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what I mean. So there was a time back about a year and a half ago, we had a really, really tough culture. In fact, I lost about 9 employees inside of a 2.5-month period. It was really, really bad. And that was really tough. Not only because it hurts the business, but also because I actually liked a lot of those employees and I wanted them to work out. I thought they were really good employees. And so obviously I had to start pointing fingers at me, and I didn't have to work too hard to do that because I had everyone else pointing fingers at me. And fortunately I had 2 people, Rob and Kelsey, that pulled me aside and they explained to me what I was doing and how I was failing. And what it really came down to was I was being very, very critical. I was giving a lot of feedback, mostly feedback pertaining to what they needed to do better, how they weren't doing things right, how they couldn't do things the right way. And I didn't feel like I was giving it incorrectly. I felt like I was just being very productive and efficient because I personally like to get feedback that way. But the ratio was definitely off, and I learned about that. And so I learned that I had to actually give good feedback compared to the bad feedback that I gave. And it wasn't until later on when I met Cameron Harold that we actually had him on a previous GSD episode, Pro Talk, where he suggested that I actually create a feedback tracker. And it seemed like such overkill because I was like, come on, man, like I got better things to do. I just need to find people that can take criticism, can take feedback, and let's just move forward. He said, you know, Mike, that would be a perfect world, but unfortunately it's not the world we live in. Most employees, although they say they want you to just tell them how it is and give them feedback, they actually don't want that. They want things sugar-coated. They want to know they're doing a good job. They want to be able to know that they have security because it's not always bad. And so he recommended that for every negative or constructive criticism, right, something that they had to do better, piece of feedback that I gave them, I had to give them at least 2, preferably 3 good pieces of feedback on things that they're doing well. And I actually had to like chart this down. So I had like in my back pocket a little like ledger thing, and I was jotting down for every person I had to average at least 66% ratio, meaning 66% of the feedback I gave was stuff on that they're doing really well. And man, it was crazy because I really realized how off I was, especially with select employees. Some employees, I was only giving negative criticism back to. Some employees was about 50-50. Very few, if any, was in the positive. And so it shifted the way I was communicating, and I had to look for opportunities to where they were doing things right. And the funny thing is, it's not like I had to make it up because they were doing a lot of things right. In fact, it was easy to find the ratio that I needed to have, is if you remember some other talks I've done in the past, you find whatever you're looking for. And because I was always looking for the things that need to be fixed, which is my natural way of looking at things as a CEO here, I'm always looking for things that need to be fixed and improved. I'm a problem solver, right? And most of you watching and listening are problem solvers too, because that's what I'm looking for. That's what I always found. And everything that was working correctly and everything that was going the way it needed to go, I didn't see, because that wasn't a problem, and that's exactly what it needed to be doing. So that was good, and I didn't catch it. But now that I'm looking for so much good things to criticize on, good things, good feedback, I was easily finding it, because there was a lot of things working really well in the business. A lot of employees were actually doing things very well, whether it was their attitude, whether it was the way they communicate with other employees, whether it was actually the work that they were doing, or the timeliness of them getting the work done, or the way they communicated with customers. I mean, you name it. There were so many things that everybody was doing really well. And so now I had to notch that. And once I started looking for it, I was able to find it. And I was able to get about 2 to 3 out of every 4 pieces of feedback to be positive. Now, what I did notice is sometimes I would have to give an employee 2 to 3 times in a row negative criticism. And that was tough. So that meant I have to really spend a little more time with them and look for the goods. I did have to pay attention. I did have to track for about 3 weeks. And it's funny because that's what they say, right? Like 21 days to break a habit or build a habit. And that's about how long it took. And by then, it was very easy to get that ratio organically without having I just noticed that, in fact, some cases, I was like at an 80 or 90% ratio of good feedback to negative. I noticed culture really getting better. I mean, people were happy. Nobody was quitting. Nobody was on the verge of getting fired. People were getting raises. People were getting promotions. Our company was breaking records. We were having a great time. Everything is great. And even today, I keep saying we're like it was past tense. It's present tense. It's still happening right now. But the great thing is I don't have to use that ledger anymore. I don't have to notch it down anymore. I can just feel it. It's intuitive at this point, right? Like you guys are fitness people. You don't need to notate every workout, every rep, every set. At this point, you can give yourself a really great workout just by feeling it out because you focused on it. And the same thing here. So my recommendation to you guys is if you feel like culture's not exactly where you need to be, or if you feel like it could definitely be better, you feel like you can get more out of every employee, obviously there's a lot of different strategies you can do, and this is just one of them. But this is one that I definitely believe was very impactful for my business, and it's really keeping track, like actual keeping track of the feedback you're giving and making sure that you're definitely giving more good feedback for the negative feedback that you're giving every employee so that they feel a sense of security in their jobs. And they don't wonder when they go home, am I on the verge of getting fired? Or do I even like working here? I mean, I feel like I'm always getting yelled at. I feel like I'm always doing everything wrong. And for us, I mean, I can get negative criticism 25 weeks in a row and I won't quit and I won't feel like I'm going to go out of business. But that's not everybody, you know? And so we need to remember that not everyone's the same. And I strongly recommend, if you guys want to improve culture and you want to build a better relationship with your employees and you want your employees to feel better and work more and give you more than what they're giving you today, to actually focus on this. So keep a ledger and go for that. For every negative piece of feedback you give them at least 2 positive. If you can get 3, even better. Other than that, if you guys like this, we actually have a whole training in LRVT about HR and employees and culture, and we're actually adding more stuff in there. So I definitely recommend you get into there, especially right now. We have a really great deal. If you go to loudrumorvt.com, I mean, we just have a ton of really great stuff in there around culture and HR and really getting the most out of your people and the company that you've worked really hard to build and you deserve to get more out of. So go to lrvt.com. If you haven't already subscribed to the GSD Show, definitely subscribe. And thanks so much for watching and listening, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. If you like this episode, make sure you subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play, or YouTube. And to watch more episodes and get exclusive links from each episode, go to gsdshow.com. Again, that's gsdshow.com.